Hi, I'm Amy. This is A Star Reads, and I'm going to do something today. I don't know quite what it is. I've sort of fallen off the face of the planet when it comes to Sunday sum ups. Now, I was really good at these for so long, and I still plan on being good at them again. But because the last couple of weeks have been really strange with me going out of town, trying to do a 48-hour readathon that we failed, but we did part of it. I've been kind of in a booktube slump. Not a reading slump. I've actually really wanted to read a lot lately. It's just that I haven't really felt like filming anything. Haven't felt like filming my reviews. I have one review for a secret TBR that I need to do, and I finished the book like 2 weeks ago. Haven't done it yet. I need to get back on track, and the Sunday sum up has become daunting because I have so much footage for the last few weeks, and I'm like, what am I gonna do with all this? So what I'm gonna do, because obviously I didn't get my Sunday sum up in again this past week, is I'm gonna catch up. This is gonna be like a catch up vlog sum up sort of thing, and we're gonna try to get everything caught up until this point. And then going forward, hopefully, I will be able to do my Sunday sum ups like normal for the rest of the summer. Now, I have to say, we are starting field season with work, and I'm excited about this because field season's great and it's a good way for me to make extra money. But this year, because we have so many projects in place, it sounds like the contractors want to work 7 days a week. And that doesn't mean that I'll be working 7 days a week, but that means that I will probably be needed on the weekends. I don't know which weekends, but like, there's a good chance that I will not get my weekends off. I'm hoping that I'll know my schedule enough in advance that I can be like, okay, well, I know that my Sunday sum up has to go up on Sunday. So if I need to work on it during the week time, I can do that and get it in before the weekend. I just don't know what my schedule is gonna look like. It's gonna be chaotic because it's really dependent on when they need us out there working, for me doing turbidity, and then also, which is making sure the water's clear for the salmon. And then also the other part of what I do is help with fish exclusion. So while they're doing all the construction and creating these log jams, which is for better salmon habitat, we have to make sure there's no salmon actually in the area that they're doing the construction. So we have to do like seine netting, and then we do electrofishing to, not hurt them, just, get them out of the enclosures in the areas where they'll be doing all the construction. So we're just trying to make sure we keep our salmon safe. So between turbidity and salmon exclusion, that's what I do when I'm out in the field. So yeah, that's basically what I'm doing while I'm out there. That really depends on how their schedule's going. So I don't get really a schedule until that week. And so we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping that it'll be fine. Everything will be fine, and I'll be able to do whatever I need to do. And the nice thing is that when I'm out there by the river, especially when I'm doing turbidity, I get to just sit there and read my book between testing the water. So that's nice because then I don't have to do too much, and I get a chance to read my book while I'm out there actually at work, because we can be out there in the field for long hours. There's been days when I've been out there for 12, 14 hours. So that's just a warning, because my goal this summer was to work as much as possible so that I could save up money for the next school year. And that means that I don't really know how many hours I'll be putting in a week. I don't know when I'll be working, and we'll just play it as we go. Like, Sunday sum ups might turn into something different just for the period of summer. We'll see. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping I can bring it back to my normal schedule, at least for that. And as far as how everything turned out at the end of June, I only finished 10 books in the month of June, which is great. That's like an amazing number of books, especially for me. I was on my way to finishing those 2 books that I needed to finish for the last week of the month to get my 12 books in for June. But that last week was a rough week for me. I had a lot of emotional things going on. I was not a very happy person that week. And some good things have come of that, actually, and so I'm happy about that. But at the same time, I just wasn't going to force myself to read that week. And the books that I was reading Winter's Orbit, and I was reading Song for the Wild Built. I was reading them, but I don't feel like I was getting much out of them. I'm definitely going to start Song for the Wild Built over from the beginning. I might start Winter's Orbit over because I just feel like I wasn't enjoying it as much as I wanted to enjoy it, and a lot of it had to do with my mental health that week. So I'm really happy with the 10 books that I did finish. And as far as Not Safe for Workathon, the whole goal for that one is just to finish some of the prompts. So I finished quite a few of the prompts. I'm happy with that. And then Camp Seasonathon, I didn't finish all the books, but I was using the books that I read to fulfill some of the prompts. So I did support my team as much as I could, and I feel good about that. So honestly, as far as what I wanted to do for June, readathon wise, I think I did pretty well, and just the end of the month, it just didn't, come together in the end, and that's okay. And then there was the Star Hop 48-hour readathon that I started, and I'll show you footage of that in this video. It was so much fun starting out, but we ended up being so busy that weekend. It just kind of flopped. But what we started was fun. So I'll probably share it because I did talk a bit about the books I was reading, and Mom talks about the books she was reading. So, might as well, right? And then I went away to visit my dad and my brother for the 4th of July weekend, and that was great. Didn't get a lot of reading done that weekend, though, because they're not readers. Non-readers, you don't get much reading done with non-readers when you're on vacation with them. But that's okay, because it was good to see them. I haven't seen them for like the last 4 years, so yeah, it was about time. Just trying to get back on track with work and school and some other things, because I knew field season was starting. And we cleaned our garage out, finally. We did some things. I'm feeling certain amounts of success in certain areas of my life, and so that feels good. And yeah, just trying to kind of move along with some of the things that I know that I need to do to feel better about my summer. Hopefully this summer will be a fun one either way, even if things don't turn out the way I'd like them to as far as Sunday sum ups go and whatnot. I'm still gonna try and bring you as much content as I possibly can, considering my schedule's so crazy. So we'll see what happens, but I'm excited to catch up with you here. Let's go and check out what happened with that 48-hour readathon, and I'll give you as much of that vlog as I possibly can.
You guys are helping, huh?
We are doing another 48-hour readathon because we couldn't get enough of it this month. I'm doing 3 other readathons, and so I thought, why not add a 4th?
Yeah, no, this is my 3rd.
We're keeping busy. So it's the weekend of the 25th, 26th, something along those lines. This is the weekend that Stephanie from Stephanie's Book First is hosting her TBR Star Hop mini 48-hour readathon. So I'm really excited about this because this is a TBR game that I absolutely love.
Fun.
I've been wanting to play along because it's a really fun, she has got a great little board that she's created for her mini game, and I printed it out, I put it on a piece of cardboard. We already did our first couple of rolls, so before we get to anything else, let's show you those now. Mom's gonna be playing Tinkerbell, and look how cute this little adorable Tinkerbell is. She's so cute. Look at her little wings. Oh, and little bow. That's so cute. And then I'm gonna be playing Abraham DeLacy, Giuseppe Casey, Thomas O'Malley. O'Malley the alley cat. He's like one of my favorite Aristocats characters. I absolutely love him. So that's our little Thomas O'Malley. That's who I'll be playing. And Tink has a hard time staying still. She's got teeny little feet. Okay, so Mom's gonna be rolling first. Let's see what you get.
Come on, lucky ones. 4.
All right.
1, 2, 3,
4.
4. I
A
landed
sun.
on a sun. Oh, she does not want to stand
She
up.
doesn't want to stay standing.
Okay.
Let's see what you're gonna get.
Oh no!
Over 500 pages. That's a great way to start a readathon.
Jeez.
Now it's my turn. Oh.
6.
5.
Oh, that's 5. Oh, I can't tell.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A moon.
Moon. Oh, gee, that's not how we're supposed to start this.
405.
Over 400, and I think someone's out to get us.
All right, so Mom's first speech.
You saw what I spun, a book greater than 500 pages. I'm going to read Dune by Frank Herbert.
Oh.
It's 650 pages, so this definitely fits that prompt.
Yes.
And it wasn't exactly the way I expected to start out this game, but because
48-hour readathon.
I'm still in the first row of the Star Hop, but
and both of the black holes are still possibilities.
I don't want to get a black hole.
Yeah.
This is a reread for me. I read it about 40 years ago, and I loved it. And Amy fell in love with this book just recently and bought it. And so I'm actually excited. I get to be the first
Yeah,
one to
you
read
get to
this
try it.
beautiful book.
I was never really that excited about reading Dune. Mom's read it and she's like, oh, I love Dune, you should read Dune. And I was like, nah. But then this version came out and I was like, oh, I guess I do need to read it. Because, I'm swayed by the beauty. It's ridiculous, I know. But yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm excited for you because you're rereading it. So it'd be interesting to see if you like it as much on a reread.
Yeah, that would be. Now, what about you?
Yeah. So we didn't do so well on our first rolls, did we? Over 400 pages for my first book, which, Mom's a fast reader. I'm not. So we'll see how this goes. But I ended up going with one that's going to make Mama very happy. And that is Winter's Orbit by Everina Maxwell.
My favorite book for 2021.
I'm excited about this one. Actually, I'm kind of nervous about this one. Like, I've been excited about it, but I'm also... I don't want to feel like it's overhyped, but everybody loves it, and everybody's been telling me I need to read it, and it's like everybody tells you this, and then it feels really unnerving. Like, what if I don't like it?
It's okay. It's okay. I loved it, but I hope you like it. It's fun.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. This is an adult sci-fi LGBTQIA plus representation, and this works for like a million things for me. So it works for my game. So for my game of Bookish Life, my TBR, this is one of the prompts on there. And then it works for my TBR Knockout, LGBTQIA plus representation for that one. It works for my book covered book club prompt, rainbow on the cover. It's got like rainbow colors. Even there's a little bit of green here. So I think it has all the colors of the rainbow on it. So yeah, that's like exciting to get to it, but also there's a lot of pressure on this book for me.
Yeah, everybody loves it, and you're afraid that if you don't love it, we'll hate you, but that's not true. We'll love you anyhow.
Please love me anyhow. So we got a lot going on this weekend. We didn't really pick a good weekend to do a 48-hour readathon.
It wasn't our fault. It was the lady that did the jump, star jump.
Yes, you're right. Stephanie, this is, you picked a weekend that we were busy with.
We were busy, but we still love you anyhow.
So we're planning on starting today. It's Thursday, which is actually a day early for the readathon, but because I have tomorrow off, we decided it would be better for us to start early.
We have read all day tomorrow.
Yeah, and we've got a lot of things going on this weekend, so I think that extra day is going to help us quite a bit. We'll be playing this game until we finish.
We want to get all the way to the end of the board.
Yeah, so even if it's more than 48 hours, we're not really sticking to that exact 48 hours. We're just going to go with until we get to the end of the board. So this could go on for however long it takes us to finish if we hit a whole bunch of black holes.
No, let's not. Let's not. I don't want to hit any black holes. You got to start over again.
Well, we're starting out tonight strong. I'm going to trivia.
But I can read, but I have more to read than you.
Not much.
I know. Here's 400.
But the other thing that we're doing that's really fun and exciting for us is we're actually going to be camping.
Yes.
So we thought because we're participating in Camp Season-a-thon, it would be fun to camp during the month that we're doing this Camp Readathon.
This is the first weekend with no rain.
Yes.
So it's the first weekend we can put up the tent. We've got it out in our backyard in the forest.
Yeah, it's
cute and it's going to be fun.
We're like, we have our own campgrounds behind the house. And well, up here in Washington, the second the sun comes out, it's impossible to get any camp spots. Everybody plans well in advance for camping. So we're like, well, we got our own camp area out around our house. Let's just camp out in the woods. So we've set up our tent and we're going to have a good couple of days camping.
Our dog and cat are most excited about it. They've already been going crazy. Our cat's been crawling underneath the tent. The dog is scared in the tent, but she's got in a couple of times. They're just having, they're out here. Cece, they're out here right now playing around the tent. They're just having a blast.
So it's about 3:30 now. We're going to be starting at 4 p.m. We'll give you an update once we have a little bit more to say about these books. So I am reading this morning and I haven't made it too far because we didn't get much sleep last night. Because that little precious angel, who has no problem sleeping right now, stayed awake all night in the tent, or most of the night, barking and growling, and is not very fond of nature apparently. So Mom's currently taking a nap and I'm just trying to read, although I'm just so exhausted today. I'm not a nap taker, so it's really hard for me to take naps. But I'm so tired. It's making it hard to want to read, too. So, I'm on page 47 of Winter's Orbit. It's definitely very political at the beginning. I'm starting to get to know the characters a little bit more, and I think I'm going to enjoy them. Part of the problem is me this morning. I'm just tired, and I have a bit of a headache, and I just don't feel like reading that much. So, I'm hoping I'll get more work reading this, but I definitely have to work on my Sunday sum up today because I've got a lot going on this weekend, so I don't know how much I'm going to get done of this. And then I also realized that I've got my live show discussion for The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and Prince Caspian on Sunday, and I haven't read Prince Caspian yet. So at some point this weekend, that has to happen also. I'm just feeling a little overwhelmed. We are obviously not outside at the moment because we had to come in and get our coffee, and we're just kind of bleh. Tell me how Dune's going so far.
I'm at page 162. There was a large foreword by Frank Herbert's son, and it was really interesting, and so I think it's going to add to me reading this book again. It was written in 1965, but it doesn't feel old. It feels like modern times. I'm loving it. It's really good. What about your book?
Okay, so I'm currently 70 pages in, and I'm enjoying it. It's definitely not like... I was thinking for this 48-hour readathon, it would be nice to read like graphic novels or short stories. But that's not happening. So it's a pretty in-depth political story. We're just starting to get to know the two main characters. They've gotten married, and seeing how they're interacting with each other. You know, there's obviously some serious miscommunication going on. And it's like painful.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying what's being set up, and it's so early on. It's hard to say. I'm tired today, so I'm having a hard time just functioning.
And why are you tired?
Because of this girl who seems to have no problem sleeping now.
All night she kept us up. She kept us up till at least 3 a.m.
No wonder she's so tired. Little butthead.
She's never camped before, and I think she's discovering that camping is not her forte. Every little noise outside got her. She literally barked and growled until about 3 a.m. So Amy and I never got any sleep.
And then we woke up at 5. Like, she woke up at 5.
She woke up at 5, ready to get up.
No, the crow woke us up at 5.
Oh, that's right. I had a horrible dream about
right by
that
our
crow.
head. You didn't wake up. I woke up.
I woke up at a point because I had a dream that had that noise in there. So I didn't wake up. I was dreaming of that crowing. It was hard to sleep out here.
Yeah.
We're going to try it again tonight. The dog's going to sleep in the house, though.
I think at the most we got 5 hours of sleep, but I think that's
hard.
at the most.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
But
rough.
it was warm. Amy got cold, but she got a third blanket and was fine. So it's cozy in here, and it is fun. It was first camping in 2022.
Yeah, it's our
first
first
out.
camp for the year. And it is fun. It's just, it was really hard to sleep last night. So hard to sleep.
I mean, I want my dog to get used camping, but I don't know if we can stand it.
Well, she's just got to get used to it in one night increments or something because we need sleep tonight. Because tomorrow we're going to Stommish and we got a lot of other things to do.
Weekend.
Yeah, today I need to be working on my Sunday sum up. And I don't feel like it.
You're just too tired.
I'm just too tired. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. Today we're just laying in the tent, reading books. And
loving it.
That's wonderful. But that's pretty much all we have the energy to do.
There are some long books on here to pick from. So I have my spinner wheel. Up. I'm also doing sprints. Any of you who are watching later on the vlog, I am going to be doing this like dually with the sprint people as well.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How you doing?
I'm awake. I got a good night's sleep because we didn't sleep in the tent.
No. We decided, you know what, we need some sleep. And it's going to be chilly again last night, and I just didn't feel like it. I
had a headache all day
yesterday. It finally went away. I took a nap around 6, so like a half an hour nap, and that helped a lot. And then I was feeling a lot better all evening. But man, all day yesterday, I was
It's really hard to read when you're feeling sick.
I was not feeling good all day yesterday. So I did make some progress though, considering, I'm not the fastest reader and I was not feeling good all day yesterday. I've read 193 pages.
Ooh,
So I'm
that's
almost halfway.
Oh, that's
Almost
good.
200 pages in a day. That's a lot for me. So I feel good about that. And I feel better today, although we have a lot more to do today. I'm just going to start working on my Sunday sum up. Then I'm going to go over
House sitting.
And I go house sitting. So
For a giant dog.
yeah, and turkeys.
And ducks.
And ducks. And a few cats. I'm sure there's something else. I'm sure there's some other animals there.
Yeah, there must be. Rob loves his critters.
He loves his animals.
I've reached page 552. So I'm really on the end of this, and I just need to tell you, I'm loving it. There's definitely very political, definitely a huge religious part of it. And I actually remember in the past reading the following books to it. It's a series, getting turned off by all the religion that was in it. I have never been a very religious person, and when I get immersed in too much religion, I kind of back off. So I don't think I finished the whole series. Now that I'm 69, religion is like, okay, it's mine. I can read this. So I'm actually looking forward to reading the rest of it, because I'm almost done, and I feel like there's so much that I need to know in it. And they're not going to be able to put that much in this book. So
because even though it's a huge book, like...
Yeah, 668 pages.
Did you ever tell anybody what it was about?
Oh, it's a sci-fi about a planet that is all sand. People have to learn to live with all sand, and water is precious. Even the water in your body. People that die, they extract the water in the body, from the body that's passed, and put it in the pool of water that they're saving. Water is the only treasure on this planet. Even your tears. One of the guys cried for death of somebody, and everybody was shocked that he gave tears, because that's giving water. They mine the planet for a spice that's needed by the whole universe, and so it only can be found on this planet. So you've got the fight for who has the rights to this spice.
Spice Wars.
Yes, so it's fun.
Look at that butt.
Cece.
Sorry for this inappropriate content.
Come here, say hi.
Say hi, Cece.
Hello.
I don't want to say I was struggling with this, because I have been enjoying it. I'm getting more and more into it. It is very slow paced. I usually really like slow paced books, but my patience, as you could tell from my little rant earlier, has been a little, just hasn't been that great this week.
Right now.
Yeah. And so the miscommunication in this, which is huge part of this, especially in the beginning, is tedious, and it will make you want to pull your hair out. So I just like, just say it, just talk to each other, just tell each other all the things. Come on, just tell each other everything. And they don't. And so
Amy reminded me that this is a slow burn novel. I don't think this one has a ton of excitement in it. There's always something going on. There's death. There's all kinds of stuff. This one is...
It's very political
all the way through.
Yeah. So like it's super heavily based in politics, which I don't mind. I don't mind that at all. It's just, it's really not based around action like what you're saying.
Yeah.
It is interesting, and I'm enjoying the world building of this. I'm enjoing getting to know these two characters. It's not happening
they would
fast
communicate better,
enough.
she would like
them
better.
I don't dislike them. And I feel for, like, I could tell right away that one of the characters has a history that's, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, she won't tell me. But
she won't let me.
I was reading these characters in a sense based off the way they're behaving, the way they're acting. One has a misconception about the other one that I think is completely false. I think that the other one has a lot of issues from the past.
But they keep tiptoeing around each other, and that's driving her crazy.
Oh, driving me crazy. Because there's no communication happening. No communication
they don't
happening.
know each other.
But that's how you get to know each other, by communicating.
Okay.
So, like, okay, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm not enjoying it. I am. It's just miscommunication is something that just can really drive me up the wall.
It does.
And that's true. It's been true for other books too. And I've still ended up liking the other books. It's just, that is a good way to make me like, especially when my patience is low.
So funny. I can't wait to read more books by her, because this was fabulous.
Yeah, so I'll be really interested. I think is this the first in the series, or is it a standalone?
I don't know if it's a series. I don't remember. I read it in 2021. We're almost into 2023.
No, we're not.
Halfway there.
Gosh, don't push us forward yet.
We're halfway, so it could go either way. I'm rounding up.
No, don't round up. Round down.
You can't round up the months.
Round down. Round
out.
You got a hair in your nose. Okay, Mom is gonna do her second roll. 3.
3.
You missed the black hole. Good luck. Good job.
1, 2. Oh, yay.
What'd you get?
I got a star. No black holes so far. There's still one on the board, but
Yeah.
so far so good.
You're doing good.
I got series, and this is also on my camp season-thon. And so I'm going to do Fifth Element by...
Not gonna do Fifth Element.
I'm going to do...
Fifth Dimension?
Fifth
Every time Mom talks about this book, she says Fifth Element, Fifth Season. No, Fifth Dimension, Fifth Dimension.
I never remember a season. And it's by N.K. Jemisin. And I've been looking forward to this for a long time. I think Amy read it in 2021.
Or 2020 or something. Yeah, it's
She
been a
read
while.
it a long time ago, and I've been dying to read it. And we lent it out, and we just got it back. So yay!
Mom,
What?
it's time for me to leave.
Where are you going?
You know where I'm... Jerk. Are you gonna miss me? Yeah, you're gonna miss me.
That's what you
Whatever.
always say. I have the house to myself. I'm going to party. The dog and I are going to be drinking all night.
Yeah, right. You're gonna be reading, Mom, right?
Oh, yes, 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 yes. I'm going to be reading all night.
This is Mushu. Say hi, Mushu. How big that dog is. Look at that big old boy. And this is the turtle friend. Hello, turtle friend. And these are the fish friends. Oh, hello, big fish friend. Hi. How you doing? You're a big guy. And here's the hamster friend. Hello, little hamster friend. How you doing? Someone's obviously tired. Hi, guys. And there's the ducks and the turkeys. The turkeys have gotten so big. The turkeys were teeny babies just a little while ago. Oh my gosh, listen to you. Hey. Hey, buddy. How you doing, cutie patootie? Well, somehow there were a few ducks and a few turkeys that got out of their enclosure. I don't know if there's a hole or what, but they got out. And so I've been chasing them all after. Food only convinces them so far, so much. So I've got two more to get in. I got quite a few of them in, but yeah. Having fun. So here's all the guys inside the fence. Then way back there, if you can see them, way back there. The guy who keeps running from me. And I can't get back there because that's all blackberry bushes. Come on, bud. Well, these are girls, actually. Come on, lady. Tell him you got yourself stuck back there and you won't come out because you're scared. And their other little fuzzy-haired dark one is over there. Where is he? He's over there. There he is, fuzzy-haired dark one. Hey, babies. Look at the cute little babies. Look at the cute little babies. They're sweethearts. You guys are sweethearts, aren't you? Okay, so I just came home for a little bit. I'm still animal sitting. I'm still house sitting. And Mom will be house sitting all next
Tomorrow.
week. We had a wonderful Sunday morning Bloody Marys. And that's what we do with our family almost every Sunday when my uncle and my aunt are in town. Because they're snowbirds, so they go away they migrate south for the winter.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. So that was really nice, just getting to spend time. It was pretty warm today, though. Really hot.
75 or something.
No, it was 80 something.
Oh, all I know is I was burning up.
Yeah, it was in the 80s out there where we were. So I had to come home and change some clothes because I'm going out to dinner tonight.
Yay.
Which means that I have done 0 reading of Winter's Orbit. I may have read 1 or 2 pages. But I did finish my Sunday sum up. So I don't have much of an update for my reading at the moment because I have not been reading. And, you know, it's like the 48-hour readathon officially is already completely over. But we're doing our own pace. Yeah. So how did Dune go?
I finished it yesterday. Had a nice ending. I know that there's more books in the series. I hate it when there's a cliffhanger and that you have to read the next book. This one had a nice ending. You felt that it concluded well. And the fact that there are more books makes me want to read it because I want to find out what happens. But it was so good. I gave it a 5.
Wow, that's good.
It's so good.
And then your second book was Fifth Season.
Fifth season, and I just started. I'm on page 63. There's a lot of different types of people.
Yeah.
Everybody's different.
Yeah, the Strongbacks, the Origines.
But there's even at the beginning, there's some kind of porcelain person and somebody else on a hilltop. The guy on the hilltop starts the destruction of the planet.
Right.
It's a very odd book. And Amy told me that it would be odd, but she said after page 100, 120, somewhere around there, it'll really be clear. And so I'm reading it very patiently. I'm reading it slowly so that I can kind of get an idea of what kind of people we're dealing with, and maybe by 120 it'll all make sense.
Yeah,
because right now it doesn't.
Yeah, it is one of those books where the first 120 pages are very complicated and there's a lot of things going on, and N.K. Jemisin does not spell it out for you. She's not trying to describe everything for you because she wants you to discover everything as you read it. Okay. So you're reading all this stuff with the assumption, she's giving you the assumption that you already know this place. You already know these types of people. So as you go along and you read like 100, 120 pages, you do start understanding what's going on because you've had enough experience with it at that point that you're like, oh yeah, I am in this place. And for some reason, it's pretty cool that she just assumes that you already know all this stuff. I don't know why. I just feel like...
No, I kind of think it's cool because she says, this is about you. And I'm going, it's about me?
Yeah, she does do that. What is that, first person? Yeah. I don't remember what that's called, but
it's interesting.
Yeah.
I know that Amy really liked it, and I heard her discussing it on one of her Sunday summits or something a long time ago. So, you know, she doesn't give everything away, but I had heard some of the things she discussed. So I'm looking forward to it. I've been looking forward to this book for a long time, so it was a good thing it came up.
I'll be interested to see what you think. It is definitely a strange book, but it is so good. It's not an easy book, though. It's definitely not a book that you go, oh, this is warm and fuzzy. It's not warm and fuzzy at all.
No, I don't. From the beginning, you could tell it's not warm and fuzzy.
Yeah, and it'll never be. It's never a warm and fuzzy story. So I got to get ready to go to dinner, and then my Sunday Sum Up is coming up. It's uploading, so hopefully it'll be up within the next half hour or so. And then after that, I can read.
Yay.
So yay. Sunday evening, after I get home from dinner, I'm going to finally get back to Winter's Orbit. I'm on like page 200.
After you take care of all the critters.
Oh yeah, I got to put the ducks in the turkeys back in the shed. I fed everybody else.
Everybody's fed?
Yeah, I fed everybody else.
Mushu gets fed though.
Mushu gets fed one more time. That's my excitement. I'm a farm girl this week, but ducks aren't fun.
No.
I like the turkeys. They're super sweet and cute.
They were hand raised. He held them all the time. He'd watch TV and take turns holding. I think there's 4 turkeys, and he was loving on them all the time. So they are used to people.
Yeah.
The ducks could care less.
No, they're not people ducks, and so they're annoying.
They haven't attacked you though, have they?
No, they won't attack you. It's just that when they all get loose,
you can't get them.
You can't get them back. I mean, and luckily they won't get loose again. Unless, well, it depends on you.
Oh, I'm not going to let them loose. Somehow or other, I'm going to lock them in there.
And I didn't let him loose. It was my cousin, but...
Oh, well.
It's okay. She didn't know, because she didn't know the instructions and stuff for how to take care of the ducks and the turkeys. But now I know, very well, and they're going to be fine for the rest of the week because I've passed on my wisdom to Mom.
Yep, she gave me a walkthrough today when I was over there.
We'll give you an update when we have more, probably when Mom actually has more
Finishes
stuff to talk about.
fifth season.
And maybe someday I'll finish Winter's Orbit.
Oh, I hope so. I love that book.
The baby's out. Gosh, I hope that's the only one that's out. Why do you guys do this? Okay, baby, let's get back in. All the other babies are in there. How many ducks do we got in there? Hi, babes.
Hi. Say hi to everybody. Hi, you're cute.
I don't look that pretty, but I finished the 5th season, and I told Amy I'd record it for her. I'm house sitting, so I'm not at home. And it blew my mind. I had no idea what the book was about when I first started reading it, and man, it was incredible. I don't want to really give much of it away because you have to read it maybe more than once to figure out what's happening, but man, it was so exciting, and I can't wait to read book 2, and luckily I brought it with me, so I get to read book 2. I think there's 3 books in this series. It just unbelievable how the writer could make these twists that, I mean, I didn't see coming at all. I didn't see them coming at all. I was telling Amy yesterday that I'd probably give the book a 4, but now I'm wondering if it's really a 5 because it blew my mind. I don't know. We'll have to think about that a little bit.
It's a video. It's a video, AJ. Okay, wait. Look at him work. Look at him work. Whoa, that was cutting skills.
Cutting my eyes.
Can anybody find me somebody to love?
Oh, it's so good. So on July 5th, I chose chaos. 24 hours of it to be exact, because I thought, you know what? This TBR of mine, it's a little too constricting, so I need to pick up a smut. So I did. I picked up Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas, and this is a smut novel that I have been really looking forward to reading for a long time now. It's a very popular one on BookTube. I've heard a lot of people talking about this one, and a lot of people giving it really good reviews. Some people not as crazy about it, but for the most part, most people I've heard talking about it have really enjoyed it. Oddly enough, I don't know why this one's been intriguing me for so long. Maybe it's the cover. I like the cover of it. Or maybe it's just the premise. But it's an age gap situation. And the added taboo is that the main character ends up forming a relationship of sorts with her ex's father. And so there's that added element to it, which, you know, if I think about it rationally, it's really uncomfortable. Like, if I was thinking about that in a normal setting, it would be like, oh, I don't know, I don't think I like that. But books, especially smut novels, are meant to be enjoyed for what they are intending to be, and that is a fantasy. But I really did think this book was fantastic. Like, the smut was top notch. It was really, really good. It was actually a slow burn. I was kind of expecting things to just start happening right away, which I don't really care for. I mean, I don't love super, super slow burns. Like, I read the Mariana Zapata book and I couldn't stand how slow that was. But I do like building the characters up a little bit, understanding who they are a little bit more before all the fun stuff happens. And so I did enjoy where the story was going. I didn't think the characters were all that exciting as individuals, but I really liked the main male character, the father. And awkward. And like, the story wasn't perfect, and there were elements to it that weren't perfect, but I honestly was not going into this looking for perfection, because I don't expect that from these types of novels. So for what it was worth and what I got from this story and the amount of enjoyment and the amount of fun I had reading this, I'm gonna give it a 4.5 stars. I was thinking 5 stars originally when I first stopped reading it, because I had so much fun reading it and I couldn't put it down for 24 hours. Realistically, when I think back to it and I think back to the characters and how they were developed and to their life situations and stuff like that, I feel like 4.5 makes the most sense for this one. And considering I typically give romances, like normal romances that I've enjoyed, within the 3-star range, 4.5 is really high for me, because I have a hard time rating romances on the same level as rating other books, because it's such a different experience you get from them, and there's something completely different that I'm looking for from a romance than I would be looking for, say, from a literary fiction or a fantasy. I had so much fun reading it. I don't regret for 1 second taking the time out of my TBR. Even though I'm scrambling to finish up books that I have live shows for. It's okay. It's okay. It was totally worth it. So if you really like smut and you don't mind the 20-year age gap, and you also don't mind the taboo relationship because she ends up dating her ex-boyfriend's father, you might enjoy Birthday Girl. I think it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and I feel like it was better written than some of the other smut novels I have read. So if you're looking for something along those lines, I recommend it. Okay, so today on July 9th, I finished my second book of the month, which was City of Glass by Cassandra Clare. This is the third book in the Mortal Instruments series, and I'm reading this for the Book Star Read-Alongs. I'm not going to be able to tell you much about it because it is the third in a series, and it, is super spoilery. But what I can say is that I really liked this one. I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. It was great. It was really very good. And what I liked about it is that we came back to what I was enjoying so much about the first book, which was all the great ideas that I felt Cassandra Clare had. She had some really amazing ideas. I liked a lot of the magic system and the different things that were happening in this story. The problem with the first book is I felt like the pacing was just off. I felt like she was just throwing too many ideas in there, and it was not working well for the pacing. She wasn't exploring enough of the characters and what have you in the first book. Whereas I feel like in this one, because we know the characters pretty well, you can just enjoy the ideas that she has and how well they're working to round out this story. Now, I know that there are 3 more books in the series, but initially I think when she wrote this series, these first 3 books were the only ones in the series. So it's a pretty complete ending once you get to this book. And so you don't have to continue on. Of course, our read-along group is going to continue on, but you wouldn't have to. You can just stop here and I feel like you get a very full story. I think I can see how Cassandra Clare is improving as a writer, you know, because the very first one, City of Bones, was her first book ever published. Even within these 3 books within the series, I see her improvement as a writer, and I can see that I am going to enjoy other books of hers because I like her ideas. And, you know, there's still elements of this that are difficult and problematic, and some issues with some problematic comments that some characters make that I didn't even realize were problematic until someone mentioned them in our group discussion, and I thought that was great because it brings a little bit more awareness to me. But I'm still really enjoying this read along, and I'm having fun with these stories. They're ridiculous, they're a little angsty, but I am kind of impressed with this particular book and how the stories came together. And some of the ideas that Cassandra Clare had were very creative, and for their time, I feel like they would have been more novel. You know, now maybe not so much because this was a long time ago that this was written, but I was like, you know, pretty impressed. Now, this series is definitely not going to be for everyone. And I say if you do go into it with a mindset that it is very outdated and that it's meant for teenagers. And if it's a quick read, like it's a fast read, these are like bubblegum. You can just chew them right up really quickly. So it's just fun. I don't know, I'm having fun with these. Put sunscreen on him and look how sad he is. I wanted to quickly go over my book haul because I got quite a few books recently. Not quite a, I mean, I have a handful, but I'm really excited about these books. So the first one, for my TBR knockout in June, which I didn't finish yet, one of the prompts was a book off your shelf that has a trans or non-binary character now. I only have one, which is Middlesex by Jeffrey Eugenides, and I was not prepared to read that book in June. It's a long book. I would like to read it, and the main character is intersex, but I just wasn't going to be able to do that. So I cheated a bit. I pre-ordered a book, which I've been wanting. When my friend Jesi sent me like a TikTok video of someone reading this book, or at least reading part of it, I was like, oh, I need that book for my classroom. And so I ended up pre-ordering My Shadow is Purple by Scott Stewart. This is a book about a non-binary child, and what I read of it, or what the TikTok read to me of it, made me get all teared up. And I just think this is a great book for my classroom. I want to make sure I have diversity of all forms within my classroom available to all my students. And so this is a book that I think will be important to have, and I want to read it. I want to read the rest of it because I only read part of it, and what I read so far was fantastic. So I'm excited about that one, and it finally came in. And then for that failure of a 48-hour TBR Star Hop game, one of the prompts that I pulled, which you didn't see because I didn't get that far in my reading, was that I needed to treat your shelf. So I needed to buy a book to read. I pre-rolled because I was going to be going away for the weekend and I wanted to make sure I brought the books with me, but then I didn't end up finishing Even Winter's Orbit, so like I didn't get any further. But I still ended up pre-ordering that Treat Your Shelf book. So I ended up buying 2 books because the first one is Lightfall, The Girl in the Galdurian by Tim Probert. This is a graphic novel that I really thought was adorable and I enjoyed it a lot. So I was like, oh, well, I love this graphic novel anyways, would love to reread it, and it would be great to have in my classroom. And the second book recently came out. So the second book is Shadow of the Bird, and I also wanted to read this. So this was going to be my Treat Your Shelf, and I would read it during the readathon. I never did because I didn't get to that point, but I have it anyways, and I can still read it. So I'm really excited about this. I love the artwork in these. They're just really adorable is what they are, but the sense of humor of these characters is a lot of fun. So like, this is a great series. At least I really enjoyed the first one, and I'm looking forward to reading the second one. And then finally, Christine from An Autistic Reader, who is the person I am doing Narnia with. We had to reschedule our Narnia live show because we were both having things that were going on. So she's having some issues with pain and stuff like that, and I was having issues with, well, just lots of things. Life was coming at me too quickly recently. I sent her like, I'm sorry you're feeling not so well gift of a couple of books, because Christine always sends me books. She is like, she's wonderful, but she's always sending me books. And Christine, you don't have to send me that many books. Thank you, though. But so she sent me books because we had to, like, we both sent each other books because we were feeling icky is what we were feeling. So these are books from my wish list, and they're books that I'm really excited about because I absolutely loved them. I actually have read these, but I've been wanting to get this collection started, so I'm really, really excited. First is Pride and Prejudice and Other Flavors by Sonali Dev. I love this series. There are currently, I think, 4 in the series. I haven't read the most recent one yet, but this first one's my favorite. So I'm probably gonna reread this at some point because this is, like I told you, this month is a possibility of being a little mood ready, and July is Jane Austen July, and so maybe I should read this month. It would be later in the month, though. I'm not going to do it right now, but I really did enjoy this retelling of Pride and Prejudice. I think it's really messy but fun and exciting, and I love the characters, and I just really enjoyed it. And then I got the first Fruits Basket Collector's Edition by Natsuki Takaya. So I've been reading through this series. I'm currently going to be reading number 5 in the Collector's Editions, but I've enjoyed it so much, and there's so many times that I want to reference back to these books that we've decided to buy them. So, well, I put them on my wish list because I would like to eventually buy them. So eventually I will have this collection going. And I'm just excited about this because there are definitely times, especially with the first book, that I want to go back and like read some of the information about these characters, or just, it's, the nice thing about mangas is you can go through them pretty quickly. And if you want to reference back, you just kind of, flip through and see what parts you've been missing. So I am excited about this. I'm excited to have this in my collection because I'm shocked that I liked a manga so much that I really want a version for myself that I can see rereading. And I never expected to enjoy manga or anime because, I don't know, growing up, like, my friends all loved anime and it just wasn't my thing. Like, I was like, nah, I had no interest. But, I've been enjoying the anime version of Fruits Basket as well. So, like, I'm a changed woman. What can I say? Okay, so let's talk about where I'm currently at with my reading. So last month, one of the things I wanted to try was to read one book at a time and try and finish a book at a time and not be reading 5 or 6 books at once. That lasted very not long. I can form words. words. I can form sentences, I swear. That did not last very long. And I guess that's just not the kind of reader I am. It really must not be. Because this month I'm in the middle of a ton of books. So I am gonna say I just need to do reading the way that I do it and the way that feels good to me, the way that feels comfortable. I have a lot of obligation reads right now, which is good, but it also means that I have a lot of things I have to get through. And I did do a little bit of mood reading last week, as you saw in my book review birthday girl. So now I'm gonna do some catching up. So as far as what I'm planning to read this week, I need to catch up on my buddy read of Shadow of the Wind by Ruiz with Danielle. So she's already at the part we need to be at for the next section, and I'm getting there, I'm getting closer. And that's the book I'm currently actively working on. So I'm about 53% of the way through that book. I'm supposed to be about 2/3 the way through before we have our next discussion and talk about what we've read so far. I'm loving that reread, just loving it. I absolutely love this book, and I'm glad that I'm still loving it as much as I loved it the first time. And so that's my priority at the moment. That's the book that I'm picking up every single time I want to pick up a book, because I need to get that read so that we can get caught up on our buddy read. And then the next book I am reading, and that I haven't started yet, even though our buddy read has technically started, is Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. So I haven't started yet, but I plan on getting this far before the end of the week so that I can chat about this with Anne-Marie, because this is our buddy read together. So she also hadn't started yet, thank goodness, because I'm like, oh no, just so behind. But yeah, I'll be getting this started. I'm so excited about this book. And then after that is The Light Between Oceans by M.L. Stedman. I'm buddy reading this with Danielle and Amy from Amy's Bookish Life. And we will need to get to here by the end of the week, 112. But this book, like if you look at the actual pages and stuff like that, like I know that's 112 pages, but I feel like that's gonna read very quickly, just the way this is written and the sizing of the font and whatnot. I have a feeling this is gonna be a quick read. So that is the next one after Braiding Sweetgrass that I need to work on, because that's a buddy read. And then finally, another one of my paced reads. I'm calling them paced reads because I have a certain number of pages I wanna read a week. I want to reread Prince Caspian. I reread Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, then I read Prince Caspian with enough time to be able to discuss it for the whole Narnia discussion. And if you'd like to go and watch that, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and Prince Caspian, I will put the link up here. We had a wonderful time talking about it, and I feel like I got enough out of Prince Caspian to be able to talk about it with Christine, of course, and everybody else who was also reading it. But I had to listen to it on like 1.8 speed. I'm not a person who usually likes to listen to audiobooks very quickly. And I just feel like I had to rush through that book so quickly that I would like to reread it. So I'm gonna reread that, and that'll be this week. Sometime this week, I'll reread Prince Caspian after I finish these other, getting to the certain point I need to get to in these other books. So those are my paced reads. Like I have a certain number of pages I need to read a day for those. As far as those 4 books go, I need to read 59 pages a day to get those 4 sections complete. And so that's where I'm at with my paced reads. As far as my other reads are going, I am on page 272 of Winter's Orbit. I may restart this one, and I feel like it'll read quickly just based on the fact that I've already read this part once. I think it reads fast. It was just that I was having a really hard time focusing that week. I don't even know why I was trying to read, because every time I tried to pick up this book, I would fall asleep. Like I literally I'd read a page or 2 and then fall asleep. Or if I was reading it, I'd be like, oh, wait, I gotta do this. Oh, I gotta go do this. Oh, I gotta get up and do this. Oh, I gotta, like there was zero focus for me that week. So these are the other 2 books that I'm currently working on that I'll be dipping in and out of the rest of this week and trying to get finished, because those are the ones that I would like. This one's a really short one. Like I know this won't take me very long to actually read. So I will be reading these alongside my paced reads, and that's kind of where I'm at with my audiobook. I'm currently listening to A Good Marriage by Kimberley McCreight, and this is a domestic thriller mystery. And we're following this woman. She's a lawyer, and she's got issues with her own husband and her own life. But one of her friends from law school, his wife is found murdered in their house. And I'm guessing he's wanting her to represent him for something minor right now. But the implication is that he's going to be the person they're going to say killed his wife. So I'll be interested to see where this one goes. I was listening to Little Dorrit by Charles Dickens. I realized that that's just not a book that I can listen to on audiobook. I restarted it so many times. I listened to sections over and over and over again. And when that happens, I know that that is just not a good book for me to audiobook. I would like to read it at some point. I'm not the most listening to audiobooks is not my strength. And so it needs to be audiobooks that really catch me and that I can focus on, but if I lose focus a little bit, I don't feel like I'm missing out on huge chunks of the story. And I think thrillers are working pretty well for me right now when it comes to audiobooks, and they keep my attention. And so, yeah, I decided to put Little Dorrit aside. So because of that, I was talking to somebody, Paige? It might have been Paige. Was it you, Paige? I was talking to somebody. Little Dorrit became my intimidating read for the Magical Aurelium Spring Equinox, because I still haven't finished that completely, of course, obviously. And so what I decided to do was put Winter's Orbit for my intimidating read, because even though this isn't a book that I would normally be intimidated by, like it's not a hard book to read, it's one of my mom's favorite books. Shell absolutely loved it. Everybody I've talked to who's read it has really enjoyed it or absolutely loved it. And I have had this book in this house for quite a while. I've wanted to read it, but I've actually not wanted to read it. I've been putting it off a lot, and I've been kind of avoiding it, as well as some of my other 5-star predictions, because I am afraid that I won't love it as much as everybody else that I'm close to loves it. And not like they would care, but, you know, I find myself putting it off, even now that I've already most of the way through it, because I didn't enjoy reading it as much as I wanted to. And like I said, most of that's because I was having such a hard time that week, especially focusing and just enjoying anything. I wasn't enjoying anything that week. I am still intimidated by this. I'm hoping that if I start rereading it again, that I will enjoy it a lot more, having picked it up now when I'm feeling better. But what if I don't, you know? What if I don't? And I'm the person that didn't like it. It's okay to be that person, but I wanted to like it. I think that's pretty much it as far as I'm gonna be reading this week. I don't think I can get to anything else. Let me know in the comment section down below, what was the best book you've read in the month of June? What'd you love in June? What should I read that you love? Well, I mean, at some point, maybe at some point, not anytime soon. Don't expect anytime soon. But I'd love to hear how your June went. Mine turned out really well until it was chaotic. And then, yeah, that's okay. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you can see if I get back on track. Or you can just see every once in a while when I do these updates all throughout the summer. I do have some other films I would like to put out. I want to do my children's picture book battle finale and I'm actually getting the picture books from the library again so I can kind of review them before I make my final ultimate decisions. And then the Great British Bake Off recommendations. I know I started that series a long time ago, never finished it, but I've actually rewatched the episode that I'm on for this next version of it, and I need to start thinking about, I have one book for one of the options. So I actually want to finish that series. I don't want to have started all these series of videos that I would like to get to and then not complete them and they just fall through. I want to finish them. So I'm working on that as well. And then I also have a try a chapter thing I'm hoping to get to. So we'll see. We will see. But this Friday on the 15th, Bookstar Read-Alongs has our reading sprints. I have my fingers crossed that I can actually make it because, like I said, work. Sometimes we're out there in the field for 12 hours, and that means that I would not make it back in time for reading sprints. I didn't tell you yet, Paige and Danielle, but there's a possibility. Even if I don't make it, there will be sprints on Danielle's channel, and I will link all that information in a post on my community post. So come join us for reading sprints, and hopefully I will see you on Sunday in my next Sunday Sum Up. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.